What's going on, guys? It's your man Ed Hayes, the wholesale coach here, back with another video. And in this video, you're going to be able to watch the Wholesaling Mastermind group with me and Dara Abasute, guys. She's a wholesaler out in Atlanta, guys. She's going to be big, so go ahead and subscribe to her channel now. I'm going to have all of the links down below, guys. And if you pump for this content, go ahead, hit that like button now and smack that subscribe button if you're new, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into this content. I apologize in advance for a little bit of the audio quality. My audio and video was a little bit messed up in the Wholesaler Mastermind group last week, guys. So forgive me, but Dara's audio and her video flowed nice and smoothly, guys. She also posted this video on her channel. Like I said, go ahead and follow her channel as well, guys. And let's go ahead and dive into this content.
I think that this would be the appropriate time to actually, try to introduce you to the wholesaler mastermind and try
Yeah,
to, kind of get the interview going and then start answering some questions and stuff like that from there.
let's do it.
Uh, so, just want to introduce you. I found Dara on YouTube, um, and she's a wholesaler. But why don't you actually introduce yourself to the wholesaler mastermind? I don't want to do it for you. Let me not take your introduction away from you. You know what I mean? So yeah, why
Sure,
don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Yeah.
sure. Hello, everyone. I am Dara, and as he mentioned, he found me on YouTube, which is great because if he didn't state that, I was going to ask that. So that's one of my nuggets that I'm going to drop for you guys tonight, and I'll probably share several. But that nugget is to always find out how somebody found you. That's just always a good way to, especially in this business, it's a good way to hone down on what's working. So clearly my YouTube is working for people to find me. So aside from that, I'm born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I wholesale out of. This is the only market that I'm in. I went to school in Pittsburgh, so there might be some potential of me branching out to the Pittsburgh market as well in Pennsylvania. And graduated with a 4-year degree in rehabilitation science, something that I'm not using, I've never used. And it's crazy because once I graduated from college, I moved back home and I knew I wanted to take some time off between school again. And my plan was to go into physical therapy. And so in my gap year, it turned out to be like gap years because I ended up not going to grad school and I found real estate instead. And it almost is like, everything happens for a reason and kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ask me, how'd you get started in real estate? So here's the story. I
Right.
um I think I heard an ad on the radio for Than Merrill was coming to Atlanta, and I must have been driving with my mom, and we were like, "Yeah, let's go check it out." So we went to his seminar. That's literally how we got started. We didn't end up joining his course or his training, but everything happens for a reason. Everywhere I went, I met somebody who put me in the right direction to the next step. So I was at the Thin Marrow conference for 3 days, didn't sign up for that, but I met somebody at that conference who was part of a RIA here in Atlanta. So he invited my mom and I out to the RIA, and then the rest was history. From that RIA is where I found my mentor, and then just from there is just connecting the dots and just networking, and that's really all it's about is networking, networking, networking. So that is my introduction. That's the longest introduction I've ever heard, but there it
Hey,
is.
oh no, that's perfectly fine.
There
That's
it is.
perfectly fine. Yeah, yeah. So like you, like a lot of people, I'm in the same situation when it comes to the degree situation where I got my associate's degree in psychology, but I never actually end up using it, So
Yeah.
I definitely know where you're coming from on that end. So, but yeah,
Well,
I think that your story is just like a lot of people's.
yeah, psychology, trust me, you're using it. You might not think you are, but you're using it
Oh
in this
yeah,
business.
yeah, every day.
So, yeah.
I mean, but well, yeah, yeah. It's like so I get to use it, but like not in like a job
Right, right,
perspective. You
right,
know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
How
Like
you
when
intended
I
to,
first
right.
I was thinking like, I'm gonna be the guy sitting in the chair and like asking people about their problems, and
Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean. That didn't end up turning out to be that. It ended up turning into real estate pretty much. I was a CNA for a couple of years, like before I actually started doing this. So
Oh, wow.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know where you're gonna end up. Let's put it like that. For real.
Absolutely. And you think you might want to go one way, but trust me, it's not your story to write. So it's not in your hands. I believe in God, so I believe that that's who is writing your story. So,
Yes, yes, I hear that. I hear that for real, for real. I mean, so like, what have been like some of the things that you faced like since you became a wholesaler? Like what was some of your, let's say, like some of the challenges that you've had so far?
some of the challenges that I've had, that's a great question. I think that even till this day, one of the biggest challenges, I hate to say, is just finding that daily motivation to be 100% honest because sometimes you can find that entrepreneurship give you so much freedom and so much flexibility that is, in my opinion, a bad thing unless you put in that structure and that discipline. So for me,
Yeah,
sometimes it's harder than other days to go out and do what I got to do, knowing I got to drive for dollars or whatever day to day tasks I have to do. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges I've had to face is just keeping on it and staying on that grind as far as keeping motivated. Some other
mm,
challenges, let's see. I'm honestly, truly, I would say fortunate that, as a woman, a young woman, minority. I haven't faced anything dangerous at all. Knock on wood. I go look at vacant properties by myself. I go meet sellers. If my mom can't make it because she's my partner, if she can't make it, I'll go by myself. And thankfully, I've never had any kind of run-ins with anything crazy. And we're gonna knock on wood
right. Yeah,
again for
gotcha.
that. But so I've lost some money. That's a challenge. You never want to do that. I've lost a lot of money doing this
Yeah.
game the wrong way. Um, you know,
I mean, so why tell me more about that? Like, what was the situation with that?
oh my goodness, guys, I lost some earnest money. It was, and it literally, I think for me, contract to contract, when I first started out, it varied how much earnest money I gave, if at all. So initially, I would either offer the seller $10 earnest money or nothing at all because I realized if you don't
Right,
mention it, then they're typically not going to ask if they don't know. So this seller,
right,
he had his wife on the phone because she couldn't make it to the showing. She's like, make sure you get $500 out of them. So, we were very confident in that deal. Like, we can move it. I was like, okay, $500 is whatever. I don't care. We'll get, that's what she
right.
wants. That's fine. At least she didn't say 1,000. So we wrote up the contract, got it signed, agreed on the price and everything. This was like the hardest deal I think I've ever had to fight for because I renegotiated my butt off on this deal and everything, and it still fell through. So because it fell through, because we couldn't sell it and find a buyer, we lost our earnest money because our contract was not tight. I can't remember what it was back in the day because it doesn't matter. We tightened it up, but we didn't have an out for ourselves to get our earnest money back. And despite me
Wow.
thinking and trying to read between the lines, our attorney was like, nah, just let this one go because they're going to come after you and they'll win because it's just so vague. So again, I don't
Wow.
remember what it said, but now we just typically don't mention earnest money at all. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually the better strategy. Seriously.
yeah.
Like have you come into the situation though where like a seller or their attorney, the seller or the attorney just they won't. Well, I guess yeah, you had it happen like in this situation. Have you had it happen in other situations where people like they just won't sign for you at all if they don't get the earnest money?
Um, I've not had that situation, and here's why: because if a seller is so bent up or adamant on wanting me to give earnest money, I'll just be like, okay, it's because if it's 1,500, whatever it is, again, I know my contract is secure to get me out of it, and two, I wouldn't be going so hard if I wasn't confident in that deal. So if you're pressed about earnest money, I will do whatever, more or less to put you at ease so you can trust me and be okay, rest easy. So yeah, I
Right.
think that I haven't had that issue because it's either they want it or they don't, and if they do, then I'm like, okay. So
Okay, okay. So you haven't. So that's good then that you've only had that one scenario. I've come
I've
across other people
learned.
that's like,
Listen,
yeah,
fool me once.
I hear you on that though, for real.
Yeah,
I mean, some people have hard times with this earnest money situation.
it's
Like,
a huge
they
problem.
constantly come across people that everybody that they talk to want 5,000 up front. And it depends on your market, I think. I think it depends
Yeah,
on your market,
yeah.
for real. I know, like in the East Coast. the Northeast, it seems like they're not going without the earnest money in general. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. I don't even know, maybe 5,000 if it's commercial. There's no way. Like, it depends on who you're talking to because, I started out wholesaling and I guess we'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm a landlord as well and I do fix and flip, so I'm a cash buyer as well. So if I'm dealing with another wholesaler and they want 2,000, that's, typical. But if it's a homeowner, I've never heard them come out their mouth and say anything with a comma because I'm like, yeah, you're not getting it. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's typically people that's got like other people with them. They're realtor or attorney,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe,
yeah, yeah. That's true. The realtor will be in their
Hey,
ear. Mm-hmm.
mhm. Yeah, I've had my fair share of those, seriously. So,
Yeah,
but
same.
yeah, though. So let me see what's next. Like I know I got a series of questions. Let me just say hello to the group.
Yeah,
I
sure.
see you out here, Darius. What's going on, brother? Pete, what's going on? Good to see you back out for the mastermind group. What's going on, people? What's going on? Let's see. Miss anybody down here? What's going on, people? If y'all in here, say hello. Let us know that you made it. We got Dara out here, wholesaler out in Atlanta, guys. So make sure that y'all ask questions. So every time that we take a little pause or something like that in between questions and the interview, I want to be answering all of you all's questions in between the questions that I got lined up. So definitely, drop some love in that comment box over there. Y'all know what I mean. So yeah,
I see
get,
Blue
get the
asked me, how long have I been wholesaling? Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
Ooh.
So I started in 2016. So in May, it'll be 3 years.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Little
Oh,
over
thanks,
2016.
Pete. Pete says your YouTube channel is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nice. Yeah, I've been shouting you out. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? Out from Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. I see you out here. Blue says, how
I hear
long you
that's
been
a hot
wholesaling?
market out in Phoenix.
Yeah. How is it out there in Phoenix? Jennifer, I know you're a newbie, but do you see a lot of we buy houses signs and stuff like that out there? How is it out there?
Probably.
Glad that you checked out Dara's YouTube channel, Pete. Right way. I was
Yeah,
I was
thanks.
just checking out. I watched a couple of your videos earlier,
Oh, I
Dara.
hope you got some value
That's
from
it.
it.
Seriously, what is the sweet spot for the business? Should the ARV be at least 100,000 plus, or can it be $50,000 less? Oh, great question, Glenn. All right, here we go with the good one. All right, Glenn. So, I believe that you give yourself a better chance of like getting a decent spread when your property is over 100,000. But it really depends on just the area and the type of buyers that you're looking for. So that's really a question that you should be asking your cash buyer. Like, do you
Exactly.
want to spend $100,000 or more, or would you like to be like $50,000 or less? That's exactly what you ask them when you start to communicate with them. But what do you think, Dara?
I completely agree. And I think you had a perfect answer because I was going to say that's a bit of a loaded question because it's really, we can't answer that unless we're your buyer. So your buyer is going to be the one to tell you their price range and what they're looking for as far as ARV goes. I'm not sure if Glenn, if you stated where you are, but here in Atlanta, ARVs of 50 are like, I mean, it's doable, but you want to stay away from that. So
Right.
it just depends on those things like Ed stated, it's your market and your buyers. So
Yep. I mean, I feel like a lot of times if it's 50,000 or less, you may be, trying to get the scraps. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It may not be enough there for you to actually make. If it needs any type of repairs, just say if it needs a roof, it's over with. So it's like it depends. But some
yeah,
buyers only want to buy in those types of areas, and they'll just keep buying over and over and over again. So
which is
it
true.
depends on your market, and your buyers for sure. Uh, let's see. What's your YouTube, Dara? What is your YouTube? Do you know your YouTube username? Maybe you can drop it in the chat box, Dara, so
Yep,
people can
I
go follow.
I got Blue. It's just my name. Eventually, I think I'm gonna change it, but if you get on now, then you'll see that it's my name, Dara Abasute, and I spelt it out there for you guys.
Abasute. That's how you say that. Yeah, I should have probably
Yeah.
asked you that. Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how you say
Abasute.
it.
All right. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. So you all know. I'll say right now.
All
Like,
right, now you know.
okay. So, so Pete has a question though, Dara. He wants to know, how did you scale your business?
That is a great question, Pete. So I know I said I'm going on 3 years, but Ed and I had this conversation the other day, and we kind of started around the same time, and you can just see the difference in our paths. That's just really anything in life. So it's really still just my mom and we have a few bird dogs and a few interns who are unpaid, and that's just our way of, instead of getting like in acquisitions or somebody who we would have to put on salary or commission, we have people who are interning and want to earn while they learn, kind of thing. So not to a point where I've scaled just yet, but that is definitely to come. And this is something I like kick myself about all the time because I do more than just wholesaling and real estate. So I kind of feel myself being pulled in so many different directions that I need to scale. So that is definitely to come.
All right. All right. So scaling is soon to come, Pete.
Yes.
It's about to go up to a whole nother level, you know. So
Got to level up.
for real, for real, for real. But you said that you do have like that you all have like enlisted some house hunters and things
hmm
like that, like some
Yep.
additional help to try to help you get some deals.
Yeah, yes. So we have, I mean,
Yeah.
I think most people do the, hey, I'll pay you 500, $1,000 if you find me a house. But we like kind of
Mm-hmm.
go in on the referral program. I got Uber drivers out there, like FedEx drivers, mailman, like, these people who are kind of accountable. They're in part of a
Yeah.
system and they send us properties. As well as, like I said, people who want to intern and they're like, hey, I want you to be my mentor, but I don't have the money to pay you. So I'm just like, okay, bring you into the company, just to see, train you a little
Right.
bit, get your feet wet, and then they learn as they go. So
Okay. 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 Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You may actually be able to have some people that's in here. You know, do you know your
come.
oh, excuse me, because I see Usman is in Atlanta. I mean, do you want to drop your link to your to like a one-on-one session to sign up with you? I know that you were telling me that you had the one-on-one sessions. I mean, like
Yes.
honestly, people will be watching this in the future as well. So,
Oh
feel
yeah,
free to drop
absolutely,
that link in the box so people can go check you out and file for
absolutely.
some coaching time from you. If you're helping people get deals, that's
Yep.
what I want to bring you on to. I'm like, okay, you are helping other people as well.
Yeah,
That was one of
definitely.
the things. I was like, okay, I definitely got to reach out to her now, then. So
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'll be sure to drop the link definitely in the chat, and so that you guys hear, and then those who watch in the future will definitely have that.
So Darius, have you ever wholesale HUD home? I think you asked me that the other day, Darius. I think that I have, like personally. Have you, Lauren?
Not successfully. So the answer is no. I have gone after HUD homes, but it for one reason or another it just never worked out. So I have not.
Mm, okay, okay.
So could you
So
tell us a little bit about that, Ed?
I mean, honestly, like I'm not like a HUD expert. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He was asking me the other day, and I'm like, honestly, I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Like, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that there are some technical things that have to happen for you to be able to wholesale a HUD home if you can at all. So I'm not really
Mm.
even sure. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't want to make it seem like I know it all because I wish I did though, actually. So I am thinking of looking into it though, Darius. So if I find out anything, I'll definitely keep you up to date, my brother. I'll send you a text. Driving for dollars is the best. Like I swear, like you see these terrible properties in on these beautiful blocks, and if you get lucky, you can get some of these people who maybe they're elderly, maybe they inherited property, no matter what it is. If they're in a distressed situation, guys, those are the gems that you look for. I swear, I really love those driving for dollar days. What about you,
Yes.
Dara?
Favorite,
How you
favorite,
like
favorite, favorite
driving for
way.
dollar days?
I love them. Seriously, get out there and go see the properties. I love driving for dollars because, and I actually have a couple, I think maybe one video on my YouTube channel about how I do kind of two in one when I'm driving for dollars because I also drive for buyers. So it's kind of like you looking for those vacant properties. Then I hop out the car too and go look at these active rehab sites and get the contractors, get the the owners, all those people's information.
I'm so glad to hear that. Seriously, I was just telling a few people this past week to do exactly that. That's so crazy that you said. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about making a video about that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do it.
That's actually a really good idea, though. I was literally just doing that myself a few weeks ago, where I was driving for dollars, hopping out, going into active rehabs, like you say, like actually connected with a couple real life cash buyers while doing
Yeah.
that. It was the people who actually bought the rehab. They were in there doing the work themselves. Like right at
Yeah.
that moment, I walked up, I started talking to them and whatnot. So yeah, that really, 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 really works, guys.
It does. It does.
Just drive for dollars, drive for buyers. Also, for real,
Exactly.
that's a new strategy right there. Not everybody's doing that, for real. So
Yes.
let's see what else we got going on here. Good idea with the intern. Yeah, that is a good idea. I know, right? Okay, so Pete says I started around the same time. However, still struggling to build that traction. One man show. That is why I asked. That's a great question, though, Pete. That's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Um,
that's everything. What are you about to say?
I was gonna say, Pete, because you're a one man show, I'm a two woman show. But so it's just some advice, and like I said, I'm 2019 taking my own advice, but it's advice I've received from other people who have scaled, and they say that, I'm not sure where you are as far as the number of deals you've done, and your average profit per deal, but save that up. Yes, you want to reinvest your money, obviously, into the company, but once you have the financial ability to pay someone, do it. So figure out what it is, like the first step that you want to take yourself out of. And for most people, it'll be like marketing or cold calling, just the front end stuff that nobody really likes to do. So that's the first person you would want to hire. But again, I can't tell you who to hire first, but just know whenever you are financially capable to do that, get yourself out of that position so you're not, totally a one man show.
Yes, yes. That's some really, really great advice, Dara. Seriously, that's some really, really good advice. Like, you don't want to do everything yourself. You
Yeah.
definitely got to delegate and automate. That's what my whole entire strategy evolves around, honestly. That's what I tell
Delegate and
everybody who do
automate.
that. It's really hard to kind of do all of this stuff for yourself. Absolutely by yourself. Like, it would take months if you try to do everything just by yourself. I honestly believe that the average deal, like maybe able to get a few per year. Like I would be surprised if you did more than that if you had to do
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
I don't know. So it's like a lot of calling, a lot of everything. So it's like you don't even
Yes.
try to do it all yourself. Why try to do it all yourself? And at the
Exactly.
end of the day, that's what any business owner out there is doing, is paying someone else for their time. So if you have a job, someone's paying you right now for your time. All you have to do is save up enough money so that you could pay somebody else for their time. And you may not even have to do it like that, because if you use like my commission-based strategy, you can get some people to come on at least 30 days
Mm-hmm.
to take a chance with you and put in some work for you. Or, like Dara says, get you an intern, put in some work for the team, and they can earn how they learn. So it's too many different ways. It's a good strategy, Pete. Let's just put it like that. It's much needed for real.
Yeah.
Usman asks, he says, Dara, in ATL, do buyers look for ARV times 70% or 75% since it's a hot market now?
Oh, that is a great question. So most of my buyers, when I got started in 2016, it was 70%. That was good. And then some people are definitely willing to pay that 75%. So, yeah, so that's a great question. So, a lot of people are still just being safe and sticking with the 70. I even have some like great cash buyers, like, get them the right deal for the right number, they'll buy, pull the trigger, and they're at 65%. So, yes, it is a hot market, but those are the people who make me work a little bit harder to find those golden gem nugget deals, and because I know that they're going to pull the trigger. But yeah, 75% is definitely where it's at here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that hot market. Seriously. Good old Atlanta. So, okay. So Pete says that he did four. So last year you did 4 deals. So yeah. I just said that. It's like you'll probably do about four in a year.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
just
depending
said
on
that.
the
If you
spread,
turn
that
it
could be
around.
good, but
That's true. That's true. For a lot of people, right? Those 4 deals could be more than most college graduate salaries. So
yeah, so
depends how much you're getting. So okay, and then I suggest Usman has another question. He says, which leads slash list do you go after, Dara? Well,
Which
you know what? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
which
go ahead.
one did sorry. Which leads slash list do you go after? I like probate leads and I like tired landlord leads. So eviction leads. So I go to the county court. See, in the beginning, I went to the county courthouse and sifted through this all myself. Now that is something I delegated out. So I have someone who finds me those leads, probate as well as eviction leads, and also vacant owners. So driving for dollars will typically be like absentee owners for the most part. And like we discussed, Ed and I said earlier, that's I love driving for dollars. So those are the leads that I go after.
Nice. Okay, and yeah, so he had right. I guess he wants to know like specifically for Atlanta. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Usman
for
said he's
Atlanta.
trying to
Mm-hmm.
get all the gigs while he here. He said he's not fucking no game.
Right. He's like, she's in
I hear
Atlanta.
you,
I have to
brother.
get these
I hear
questions.
you. Say he want all the dudes help me out. Look, for real, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so here, let me get back to like a few of these questions though I wanted to ask you. Like we still got the time here or whatever. So, Dara, why don't you tell me, um, like, what's been like one of your, like, what's been some of your like successes that you had? Like, what was like one of your favorite moments that you've had so far? Like your favorite deal so far, wholesale.
Oh, my favorite deal. I'll give I'll give two. And two. So yeah, so one my very first favorite deal that just came to mind was a joint venture, and I keep plugging this, but it's also on my YouTube. I have a couple videos about how I think JVs are like talk about delegating, like go partner with another wholesaler and split it 50-50. So there was a
Right,
time where I had a wholesaler friend. So I had a deal of my own under contract. And I was like struggling with my buyer to negotiate the right price because the seller was pretty firm. So the numbers were, I think, putting it out at 50,000 was the price that I was putting it out. And my buyer was like, no, I want to be at 47. So where I'm trying to negotiate whatever. So, as God would have it, a wholesaler friend of mine called me and was like, hey, I got this deal in the exact same area. He didn't know about my deal. Hey, I got this deal. I'm putting it out for 47. Keep it at that price, and you already got 2,000 in built in, right? And this is literally when I just started. I had probably maybe done my own deal already, like one deal. And so he calls me
right.
and says that, and the exact same area that my buyer was fighting for, he was like, I want it at 47. Hung up the phone. In 2 seconds, I called my buyer. I got you a deal for 47. This one, we still gonna work on it, but I got you one for 47. He ended up buying both of them. So he ended up buying both
Oh
of
wow.
them. Yeah, and the one for 47. The reason I say this is the sweetest deal is because I literally did not sweat. I didn't break a nail. I didn't do anything. I never met the homeowner. I never saw the house. Till this day, I haven't seen the house. So a lot of my joint venture deals are like that. All I did is pick up the phone and call a buyer because
Right.
I'm matchmaking. As wholesalers, we're matchmakers. So
Yeah.
that I think is the sweetest deal because it was like that's the easiest $2,000 I've ever made. It was like my buyer was quick and he closed in like 7 days, and it was awesome. Like we had a party at the attorney's office, at the closing office. So it's like it was crazy. But
That
um,
sounds like a sweet deal. Seriously, yeah, that's a sweet one.
yeah. It was. I mean, I didn't even argue. He said 2,000. I said, great. I'm not even. I don't have to do anything for this 2,000, so I'll take it. Right? Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's a pretty good deal. So
Yeah.
JV deals. You say you love the JV deals and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
hey, I hear you though. I hear you though.
definitely JV in the video because a lot of people ask about, oh, I don't want to get burned because I've gotten burned in JV deals. There's ways, you know. When I say joint venture, for the most part, I've done joint ventures where I had the contract with the seller and I had another wholesaler bring me a
Mhm.
buyer. But for the most part, I'm the one bringing the buyer.
Right.
And there's reasons for that too. So my second favorite deal is one that it was not a wholesale deal. It's actually a creative financing deal that I still own today and I still control it. And it was subject to, and it was like literally My first creative financing deal, I had no idea what I was like blabbing to the seller, but he bought it. And, because it worked out because he was just so desperate. He was a tired landlord lead, and I caught him while he was renovating. He was in the middle of fixing up his property that his tenants like tore up. So long story short, I was like, hey, the numbers just didn't work out. I was gonna offer him like a regular wholesale cash offer, but it just wouldn't work out because he was upside down. So at least I knew. I'm just thankful that at least I knew because a lot of people kind of jump right in. I took a lot of time like learning different pockets and just everything I could about real estate, wholesaling, investing in general. So, and my mentor actually introduced me to creative financing. So I'm very thankful that at that time, because I was still so new, at that time I at least knew that that was an option. So, and the reason I say that is because I was still fumbling to explain what it was. Like, I'm going to take over your mortgage, but you keep it in your name, and yeah, we'll go from there. So, I
Right,
mean,
right.
till this day, and it was the greatest deal. And I literally share my love for this deal in one of my YouTube videos. So definitely go check that out.
Nice. That's nice. You think the deal essentially made you a homeowner yourself.
Yeah. So that one we have now as our other rental. So that, I think that's a great
Oh,
strategy for those out there. Do like get it subject to or at least purchase and then turn around and rent it. And then, yeah, no money down. And in my case, it was no money down. And that's why I love it.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I like that. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that sounds like some sweet deals. Like real quick though, like on those JV deals, like have you found yourself like coming across people like faulty JV partners or like people who want to kind of JV deals with you? Like, what do you typically do when you come across a person that's like, hey, I want to JV, can you JV this deal for me? And then all they come with is like an asking price and a picture or something like that. Like, what do you do in those situations? Or does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I'm such a nice person and I need to like grow a stronger backbone or something because people do that all the time. They just text me an address and a price. And then I go through the trouble of like finding out the details because I never want to send just an address to my buyers. Like I want to do a lot. I want to set you up for success. I want to do a lot of the homework for you because I know my buyers are already gonna look up their own comps and things like that. But I at least want to make it make sense. Explain to you why it made sense to me. If that makes sense. So I give them an address, I give them the pictures, I give them the scope, I give them what's going on, like what's happening in the neighborhood, things like that. So when somebody just sends me an address, I'm like, okay, I gotta go through the trouble of figuring out all this information if I
Oh
don't already
no.
know. And so at the same token that I do love JVs, I also never put more energy in a JV deal than my own because one, there's very little control with a JV deal, and two, if I'm the one finding you a buyer, that wholesaler can find, they can ask 10 other wholesalers and somebody could be quicker than me. So I don't want to put so much time and energy into their deals that can just be taken, it's not, does that make sense? So, to
You're
answer your
doing all of
question,
that work, right?
yeah, and then, it doesn't work out. So to answer your question, I just never. It depends on how I'm feeling actually, because if somebody's price is ridiculous and they're wanting me to put it out, I just ignore it, or I just be like, I'm not gonna shop that deal for them.
Right, right, right.
But I have some very. I've been grateful. Like I know some people who are like solid, and so they give me the whole entire package. Hey, this is the property package, and I just forward that over because they didn't have to make me do any work to help
Yeah.
them out, if that makes sense. So
I
I've
say you
had
gotta
both.
love those JDs.
Say that again.
Those are like I said, you gotta love those JD partners,
Yeah,
the ones that package
exactly.
everything up beautifully for you, and they
Yeah.
got
It
links,
just copy and
they
paste
got
and just forward. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, it's
thank you
simple.
so much. Look, let me just take your name off this real fast. Just put my
Exactly.
name, so
Exactly.
ask any questions. We about to get this knocked
Exactly.
out.
And it's crazy
Yeah,
because now that I'm actually talking about it and thinking about it, I feel like I said, I'm just way too nice. But I feel like those are the people who I should hone in on more than those people who just give me an address because you're wasting my time because now, I have to put in the extra work to figure out what's what with this deal. And and I don't like, because when you give me an address, that means I have 1,000 other questions to follow. Like, all right, so what's
Right.
this, what's that? And I don't want to have to do all that, you know? So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I've
That's
had,
exactly why I asked, because like that happens to me all the time, like
yeah,
literally almost every day. Almost every day. So
yeah.
like typically like when people doing stuff like that, I'm just
You're not
like I
serious.
need you to get
Like,
more information about the property because it's like I don't want to be doing it all for them. I'm just like I just can't. I can't be doing all of this work.
yeah,
I got too much other stuff going on
very true.
to be like packaging up more deals and like look, I'm gonna need a lot more than 50% if I'm gonna be
If
doing
I'm
all
doing
that.
all that,
I
yeah,
need like 80% if I'm gonna have to package up the deal. I need 80%
yeah,
because I'm the only one who's gonna get some money out of this. If this is all that you come with, that's how I feel.
yeah,
So it's
that's
like
very true. That is
that's
very
part of what I
true.
was asking. I know what you do in those situations. Just like me,
Yeah.
it's just like no, I'm sorry. Like come back when you got pictures. Ask them if they have those things. Do you have pictures, videos? If you like list like 12 things, and they're
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
no, I don't
saying.
have it. I was like, look, come back to me when you get those things. So
Right.
that's easier for me.
Look, I'm taking notes, because come back to me when you get that, because yeah, that's,
Now
yeah,
that happens all the time, though, like for real. And like people will come back with it. They'll be like, "Thank you so much for telling me what to have in the package." So like that's actually
yeah,
helping people at the same time.
that's
I
true.
feel like if I do it for them, then I'm almost like handicapping
That's
them.
true. That's true. And you're right. And if I do it for you, I'm getting more than 50%, period. Like,
Seriously, it's like I need way more than that. That's
yeah.
at least three-fourths, two-thirds is something
Yeah,
for
yeah,
real though.
yeah. Definitely.
So Pete says that you've done JV deals and had both experience lessons learned as better than JV partner fully. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I was asking that additional question, Pete,
Yeah.
for real. Yeah, right. You own nothing but control everything. Lease options, yeah, right. It's a pretty sweet deal, right? So yeah, Glenn says, how do you calculate the cost of repairs? Oh yeah, that's a good question, Glenn. So like what like I personally it's so many different ways. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
personally believe that like depending on the actual like condition of the property, Glenn, like you might as well just have a repair guy come out there depending on what it looks like. Depending on what like if it's got fire damage and things like that. I'm typically gonna have like a fire restoration company come out, things like that. If it's me, or like sometimes I'll use a calculation as well, where it's like about times the square footage by like a general range. So like if it's like a light rehab or almost no
Yeah.
work that needs to be done, I'll multiply the square footage by like 5. If it's like the light rehab, I'll multiply it by like 10, 20. And if it's like a heavy duty rehab, full rehab, then we're doing like 30 to 40 maybe. So it kind of varies. I know. So yeah, like me personally, I'm a little bit haphazard, but I personally prefer just having a repair person come if it comes down to it. But what about you, Dara? What do you do to calculate your repair costs?
I typically get a contractor to come out with me, and that saves
Yep.
me every kind of calculation you could think of. And or I
Yep.
do what you say as far as the formula. So if it's a small rehab or light, heavy rehab, full complete gut, I do that times the square footage of the property.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep. Let's get the standard methods. You can't make this stuff up, guys.
yeah, rinse and
For
repeat. You
real.
just copy what everybody else is doing. Cause
Seriously,
yeah,
don't try to reinvent the wheel with this
yeah,
stuff. Just go with what everybody else is doing and make sense. Standard operating procedures typically. Seriously.
exactly. Standard operating procedure. Yeah.
So yeah, I would just do that. Man. There you go, right there, my brother. All right, let me get back up to the top now to see the rest of these. I know, right there, the asking price in just a picture. I know, right? You say you
Yeah.
Nah, transitional funding. You say you out from your transitional funding, huh, Andre? Nah, brother, I'm good on all that, man. I mean, but hey, maybe some people that need your help, though, brother. Honestly, it definitely is a lot of people out here. Have you ever used transactional funding, Dara?
I have not. No.
No,
So
no.
just like you, I don't. Thank you, Andre, but I don't need that service. But there's somebody out there who might.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Yeah, like Dejan Charles, man, Dejan Charles who was on here a few weeks ago. He was actually using transactional funding on a deal that he was working on when he came onto the mastermind. And just by the way, anybody that was in this that was watching the mastermind when Dejan came on, or if you saw it on the YouTube channel, just so you know, the deal that he was working on that he told you all about, the crazy one, he did get that close, just so you all know. He slammed up that property. Anyway, though, let's see. How do you determine comps to when the house is in an area that is being developed? Oh man, that's a great question, Glenn. Honestly, um, I mean, so like personally, I'm looking. It depends. It gets really tricky,
Yeah.
honestly. Like personally, like you kind of gotta go through like a lot of different. Man, it's like it's like you kind of go through like a whole wave of emotions trying to get to kind of places like that. Personally, I do
Yeah.
it. It's just
Yeah.
like I don't know what to do. It's kind of like personally what I do is like I like to look at like the as is value of the property right now, just in case whoever I'm selling this property to isn't gonna tear the place down. That's a small percentage of people who's actually gonna tear it down. So like first off, I'm looking at the as is comps. I'm trying to see what these places are going for now. After that, I'll start to the square footage of the property, and then that will help me determine like what of development I should be looking into for my after repair value uh, uh, development property. So if you understand what I'm saying, like if a property has like 4,000 square feet, I can see where maybe the developer can come in and build like a 2750 square foot property and make it huge, and then I'll go look for other 2,700 square foot properties, new developments in that area that has. That's kind of how I do it. It gets really really complicated. Like your best bet on that is probably just reaching out to a realtor, honestly, to ask a realtor what they believe the value of it is. That's the best bet, in my opinion. Well, what you think, Dara?
Yeah, I think that if the area is developing, you just might want to spend the money to get an appraiser. So have an appraiser come out and give you the value, the after repair value, and because like you said, it'll be tricky because you'll be doing backflips and tricks to find out what it is yourself. But so I definitely do get the as is value, and I haven't done it, but what I just thought of what you could do is with those as is comps, because even though it's being developed, I would almost bet that there is still cash transactions happening. So you can look that up as well. So if you find somebody, some as is sold comps, and they're investors who purchase it, maybe go the extra mile to reach out to them. And if they decide that they want to renovate it and flip it, you can ask them what they might price it for. And maybe that'll just give you an idea of what they're projecting that area would go for. Now, that's not to say that they'll get it. That's not to say, any of that, but it could help. But I would just say get an appraiser.
I agree. Yeah, that seems like a good strategy, though. I think you just put them on the game right there.
Always. That's another nugget.
Yeah, for real. Go the extra mile, guys. Always go extra mile.
Yeah.
This whole business is all about networking. It's all about people. This like that's the only way to make money in this business. Being about the people, for real, relationships. So
Yes, 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 yes.
that's great advice, Dara. Yeah, let me see. Let me see what we got next. Blue. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Blue. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Blue. If anybody needs motivate seller leads, click the offer link in the chat, like Blue says. We got motivatedsellerleads.org to start a new website. Me, Q, and Blue are all doing this website together, guys. Check out motivatedsellerleads.org and get yourself some of these distressed homeowners right away, guys. Y'all already know what it is. We're all across the nation getting deals off of these leads, guys. Don't wait. Start calling today. You hear me? Seriously though, let me see.
So I don't necessarily mentor uh, like that, but I have a link that I listed down below for consultations. So I can start out with a consultation if for whatever reason someone we like click and I'm like, hey, I want you to be my mentee, or they are a good fit, we're a good fit for each other, then we can go from there. But to get their foot in the door, it'll have to be through that consultation link that I have below, and I can just put it here again. for ease, so you don't have to scroll. All right, well, check it. I'm taking over this webinar. What's up? Talk to me. What's going on? What y'all want to know? Kidding. I'm just gonna wait for him to go back. Ask questions. So I want to get some more questions. Where are you guys located? What do you want to know about wholesaling? What do you already know about wholesaling? What can you teach me? What can I teach you? Mayday, mayday, mayday. I really don't know where he's at or if he's able to come back on, but what books have you read to inspire you? That's some good advice for starters. Polk County, what's up? I don't know where that's at. What city is that? All right, so some books. Oh my goodness, guys. I think the very first book that I read pertaining to real estate and just really getting your mind right and everything, it's called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I have it like right here, actually. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I've got Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki as well. I have the game. And here's another nugget. If you don't have that game, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, it's the Rich Dad Poor Dad brand, you're missing out. It's almost Christmas, so you should get yourself that gift, that game. It's like better than Monopoly. It's better than 2K or whatever other games people play, but it's a great game, and it's like, it was life changing. But so some more books. What else? The One Thing by Gary Keller. There's just so many. But yeah, those are great starts. I have a lot of books from Bigger Pockets. One that literally, I think it's like a landlord guide or how to be a landlord, and I follow it word for word with my tenants and my rentals because it helps. So there's a couple of books that I have from Bigger Pockets, and I think that Ed is back. I'm not sure. What was the game again? The game is Cash Flow Quadrant. Game Cash. No, I'm lying. It's just called Cash Flow. The book is Cash Flow Quadrant. The game is called Cash Flow. Ed, I don't see you or hear you. How many deals are you doing per month? What about that? Oh, Usman, how many deals I'm doing per month? Again, it's me and my mom. So as far as our own wholesale deals, it's about 2 a month. But that's not including the joint ventures that we do. That's also not including the properties that we just acquire on our own to either sit on, like buy and hold, or whatever we decide to do with that. Currently supposed to close on a land deal. I think this is my first time purchasing land. So yeah, closing on that sometime soon. There's like title issues that's holding that up. And we also do some hotel deals, which is really cool. I think that's what we'll do with the land. And then what about the average deal size? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean like the profit? The average profit? Or gay? I'm like taking over this thing. What's up? Pete asked, how does lease option work? I know you take over the property by paying the mortgage, but how do you pay the mortgage? Is it your own money? Or are you leveraging other people's money? All right, so Pete, with a lease option, you're not taking over somebody's mortgage. That's subject to. So when you take over somebody's mortgage, that's subject to. So I guess that's 2 different avenues I'm about to take you down. So when you take over somebody's mortgage, there are steps to doing before you even go under contract. I think, before you get under contract with the homeowner, you need to get a third-party authorization from the person whose name the mortgage is in. So that way they're authorizing you to speak directly to the mortgage lender. That way you can find out the payoff, all this kind of information that you need to know. Because yes, you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, what's your mortgage payoff? They can tell you any number, but you just want to make sure you know that for a fact. Now, so I got the third-party authorization. We pay the mortgage directly to the lender, to the mortgage company. And that's what I would recommend. I would not recommend that you give the money to the seller and have them pay the mortgage. Just don't. So again, once you're in there, you're in there. So once you have that third party authorization, you're free to discuss, pretty much anything with the mortgage company. So you pay directly to them, and yeah. What else did you say? Is it your own money or other people's money? So that kind of depends on you. Technically, the mortgage that we're paying on the subject to deal is other people's money because we're renting out the property. So if the mortgage is here, rent is here. So from rent, we pay the mortgage. But when the property was vacant, and it was vacant for some months, it was coming out of our pocket. And then lease option, completely different. Lease option, you're leasing. So you are a renter, you're leasing. So you're not paying a mortgage, you're paying rent to the person you're lease optioning from. And you're leasing with the option to purchase. So you can either, have a lease for a year, 10 years, whatever. And at the end of that lease term, you have the option to purchase at a certain price. And yeah, so those were two different avenues. Let's see. Ed, I haven't seen you since you got back or heard you. Usman asked, for a hotel, are you closing on it before putting it on the MLS? Or just when you have the contract, or are you partnering with the realtor to list on the MLS? So the hotel, I got a video about that on my YouTube. You have to close on it. So yes, you have to close on it before you put on the MLS, because unlike with wholesaling, you are not selling a property, you're selling a contract. You're signing a contract. So if you put it on the MLS, it has to be your property. You have to own it. This is from my own experience. I don't know if I'm wrong. Someone correct me. But from my own experience, you have to close on it because you have to own it in order to put it on the MLS for sale. Because now you're selling a property, not a contract. And I don't partner with any realtors. I just find one who will list it, and it's per property. It's not like a contract or anything. Actually, I use a flat fee listing service, so it's not. So it's a little bit less than having to pay 6% commission. Any more questions? I have no idea where Ed went. Can you see me? Ed, can you see me? Yeah, so I just put the link to my YouTube channel.
Hey guys, so if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for checking out the content, guys, and being a part of this team. If you haven't already, go ahead and smack that subscribe button, guys. Like this video, share it with as many people as you can if you think that anybody could benefit from this content, guys. And hey, I'm glad that you all are along for this journey, man. I'm glad to be able to provide all of this wholesaling content to you all. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. Down in the comment box down below, you can ask any questions. I'm definitely going to be trying to answer all questions that I get on this video. So definitely make sure that you ask any questions that you may have after checking out the video. And until next time, guys, I'm out.